Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. We just took a look at the Death's Fathom last video, and this video we are going to be taking a look at the Oculus Swirling Crystal. Now the Oculus Swirling Crystal is a very notorious item, just simply because it has Magic Find along with a very nice effect for sorceresses. It makes a very nice Magic Find item. And there are some other options as far as Magic Find is concerned, but I think this is one of the best ones, especially since you can socket it and you can throw an Istrune in there, and then you can bring it up to a total of, what is that, 30% plus 50, so 50, 60, 70, 80% Magic Find, which is really nice. And you can stack that along with obviously like a Rhyme Shield and Skulder's Ire and a Shaco and all those other interesting items like Gold Wrap and Chanseys and whatnot and War Travs. And you can really stack up your Magic Find as high as you can get it. But this item is not just about Magic Find, it's also a relatively good item, and we're going to take a look at it together, and we're going to see why it's good and also why it is potentially bad. So the Oculus has a very nice +3 to Sorceress skills, which is pretty darn sweet. +3 is going to be absolutely excellent, especially if you are a character that is diversifying your build in between, say like Fire and Ice, or Lightning and Ice, or Lightning and Fire, or whatever it is that you're doing. If you're going for a multi-spec build, having a massive amount of +2 skills is, of course, very, very, very handy in those situations. We have a very odd ability here with is a 25% chance to cast level 1 teleport when struck. And this can sometimes get you into trouble. It can sometimes get you killed. It also has the very odd effect of randomly teleporting you out of Duriel's tomb, believe it or not. So if you get hit by Duriel with this on, there's a very good chance that you can be teleported out of his chamber, which is actually not possible. And if you guys have actually ever tried this before, but you are not able to teleport within Duriel's chamber. He has some sort of dampening effect, right? So it is actually a way that you can glitch your way out of his room by letting him hit you, and then the Oculus teleports you out. The problem with this is it's a random teleport. It doesn't necessarily teleport you somewhere good, and it doesn't necessarily teleport you somewhere bad. It just teleports you randomly, and it could teleport you right in the middle of a bunch of monsters, or it can teleport you to safety, and it can be really, really, really not the greatest. This is actually one of the reasons why some people do not use this, despite the fact that it is an extremely good item. They don't want the random teleportation to get them killed, especially in hardcore difficulty, where one death is literally the end of the line. We also have some very interesting things here, like +3 Sorceress skills, 30% faster cast, which is absolutely excellent. It's always nice to have a large amount of faster cast on your item. 20% enhanced defense, which means that when you put this item on, you will get a nice little bonus to your defense. As you can see, I have 1,391. Which goes to 1,669. And if I tack on one of the armors, you'll notice that it gives me an even bigger defense from 2,350 to 2,628, which is nice. It also gives me +20 to Vitality, which means I'm going to get a nice little bonus to my health of about like 100 or so. Oh, sorry, not about 100. Sorry, about 40. I want to say 40. Looks like about 40. We also have 20 energy, which gives us about, what's that? Looks like another 40. And then we get 20 to all resistances, which is, of course, very nice, and +5 to mana after each kill, which is huge. So a lot of people sleep on mana after each kill, but when you are playing a character who kills things relatively quickly, +5 to mana after each kill can be a huge amount, especially when your spells cost like 27 mana. So you're killing multiple targets with each spell, and you're getting back a rather large amount. And this can be stacked up with other items, like, for instance, Silk Weaves give +5, so you could be rocking +10 if you were using Silk Weaves in the Oculus. And that +5 to mana each kill just tends to be very, very nice. And then, of course, we also have the 50% better chance of magic items. Now, you may have noticed something weird, because normally in these unique item videos, I'm always talking about, well, it has a variance between this and that, and the enhanced damage is always this and that percentage. There are no variables on the Oculus Swirling Crystal. None whatsoever. It always rolls like this, and it is always this good and never any worse. That means that every single Oculus swirling crystal that you find is going to be perfect, and that's kind of nuts. Now, of course, you do have to add the socket, so you have to take it to Larzik and get it socketed, and you would have to put something in here to make it better. Now, what would you put in here to make it better? Well, you could put a resistance jewel to add more resistances, so you could pop 15 more resistances on there and bring it from 20 to 35. You could put something in there to increase your magic find, so you could put an Ist rune, which would give you 30% magic find in a weapon, which is kind of nice. That bump you up to 80. You could also socket some various other items in here to give yourself some random effects. Maybe you want more gold find. Maybe you're going to put a Lem rune in there. Maybe you want some more vitality or energy or life or whatever it happens to be. And maybe you found like the most godlike jewel or something, and you just want to throw a jewel in there that has like all these various resistances and effects on it. I mean, maybe that's your goal. But suffice it to say, it's nice to have a socket to, do with as you wish. And Oculuses aren't so rare that you couldn't necessarily have two, so you could have one specifically set up for magic finding and the other specifically set up for, leveling and keeping yourself alive, perhaps. You still get 50% magic find bonus, even without an Ist rune in there. So very nice. It's a very nice all-around. I definitely think that that's one of the very interesting things about this, is that it's just a very nice item for sorceresses. Like if I had a sorceress and I was leveling up, doesn't matter if it's a fire sorceress, lightning sorceress, a cold sorceress, or a mix of anything, the Oculus Swirling Crystal would be a very nice starter item to put on those characters. Are there better items than this particular item? Yeah, there are. You could use a Hoto. Hoto is considered to be better, although it doesn't have the magic find. There is also Death's Fathom, which is better for a cold sorceress. There's also Eschuta's, which has better effects for other characters. And each particular wand, or rather, crystal, each particular swirling crystal, or orb, has its own specific bonuses and benefits, for each individual type of sorceress. So if you are specifically cold, Death Fathom is good for you. But if you're not specifically cold, if you're kind of like multi-spec and you're going into multiple different builds, perhaps you just use the Oculus or the Hoto for the time being. Now, as far as Magic Find is concerned, I do believe this is actually one of the best Magic Find items for a sorceress because of its 80% total with the +3 to skills and all the 30% faster cast and stuff like that. Of course, a sorceress could use an Alibaba with 2 Ists, which would give more Magic Find, but you would not get the +3 to Sork and the 30% faster cast, which is really kind of what it comes down to, is not necessarily that the Oculus is the highest Magic Find item that you can possibly put on a sorceress, but more so that it is literally just a really good Magic Find item. Most of the time you are sacrificing so much for just a tiny bit of Magic Find, and in this particular case, there's not a lot of sacrifice. You're not really sacrificing everything for this, which is pretty cool. Now, where can you find the Oculus Swirling Crystal? I feel like that is something that we need to go over for those of you who may be searching for the Oculus Swirling Crystal. So we're going to go over to Silo's Pen, and I'm going to show you where it can potentially drop from. So using only 150% Magic Find, we are going to search for the Oculus, and it looks like to me the highest % chance of a non-quest drop is Bale in Nightmare difficulty. We also have Diablo in Nightmare difficulty, and Hell and Dariel is a pretty good chance. So very interesting that it drops from quite a few bosses there. Also, Mephisto in Hell difficulty, Diablo in Hell difficulty, Bale in Hell difficulty, and Mephisto in Nightmare. So as far as like ease of access, it looks to me like Mephisto and Nightmare is probably your best bet because you can use the moat trick on him. So very interesting. Let's go to Super Uniques, and let's see what kind of Super Uniques we could potentially farm this from. So the Cow King in Hell difficulty has a 1 in 3,881 chance. Not bad. And then we are also looking at Neelathak in Nightmare with 1 in 10,000. And then we have Neelathak in Hell with 1 in 13,000. So Neelathak in Nightmare might be a good choice to try and get this particular item from. And it looks like Nightmare Cow level has a decent chance with 1 in 16,000. So not bad. Doc Farron also 1 in 16,000. Doc Farron is easy to get to, and so is Pindleskin. Doc Farron and Pindleskin might be a good, easy farm loop. You could farm these two particular monsters over and over again in Nightmare difficulty, and potentially get your item. That's pretty cool. Well, the Oculus Swirling Crystal certainly has an interesting reputation, and the teleport when struck really needs to be demonstrated. So let's see if I can get the teleport when struck to go off, shall we? I think I'm going to have to transfer this over to another character, because this one in particular can't leave Act 2 normal difficulty because I never fixed her properly. But I do have a Sorceress that we can test this on. The Obsession Sorceress, which I just recently made. So if you have not seen the new Obsession rune word, I do have a video up on that. It is quite a doozy, and I have created a mock version which you can download, and it's right here. This is the mock version of Obsession. But to do that, you're going to have to go over to the Obsession video. I'm not going to give you the link here. So let's grab the Oculus Swirling Crystal, and let's go play around with this, shall we? And have ourselves get teleported all over the map. Now, this is hell difficulty, and I'm probably going to get my butt handed to me. So let's see how this goes, shall we? Might as well throw my my energy shield up. Let's go play around with Eldritch. So as you can see, it's already triggered several times, and sometimes it's teleporting me to safety, and sometimes it's teleporting me into danger. This is, sometimes a bad thing. As you can see right there, it teleported me into a very bad spot. And sometimes it teleports me away to safety. And the 25% chance to proc is really high. Like, it's really quite annoying. And you may find that this is a deal breaker for you. You might use the Oculus and you might be like, okay, I can't stand this teleport when struck business. I'm moving on with my life to something like a Hoto or a Death's Fathom or an Eschuta's Temper, something of that nature that is less going to get me killed. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when you have to teleport here. And as always, keep watching.